What's up, guys? It's Victoria from Under Victoria's Spell, and I'm so excited about today's video. I really wanted to start a new series on my channel where I go into the deep dive of my favorite YouTubers and read their recommendations from their YouTube channels to see if they are worth the hype that they give them. And the first person that I decided to do for this video is Caitlin from TheLoveLibrarian. I absolutely adore her, and I really wanted to check out her romance recommendations and see if they aligned with my taste. So we're gonna hop right into the 3 books that I read based off of her recommendations from her YouTube channel. So let's talk about these books. Okay, so first and foremost, I need to explain my robe. Caitlin, whenever she does some of her videos, she's in her like little cozy clothing, and I saw a video where she was like in her robe, and I was so here for it. So I was like, you know, in honor of Caitlin, I'm going to wear my cute little robe, and it has hearts on it, so it's perfect for romance. But I'm so excited to talk about Caitlin from TheLoveLibrarian today. She is absolutely amazing. She just hit 2K on YouTube, and I'm so incredibly proud of her because she deserves each and every one of those subscribers. She just has that energy about her, and when you go and watch her videos, you just know you're gonna leave with a smile on your face because she is just so bubbly and she is so happy. I just really enjoy watching her videos. I know if I'm having a hard day and I watch one of her videos, I'm gonna leave just feeling so much better. So if you are not subscribed to Caitlin, she is so sweet, so amazing. I reached out to her to make sure it was okay that I did this video, and she was so kind and said yes. So let's talk about the books that I decided to pick up. I picked 3 books that she had absolutely loved and adored. So I was like, I'm just gonna read these books and see what my rating is, see if like the book she talks about really kind of aligns with what I like to read in romance. So the 3 books that I picked up was Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. I also picked up Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt, and I believe it's Tremble by Rizzy Adams. I believe it'll be right here. I'm so bad with names. But 2 full-length books and 1 novel, or a novella. And it was so fun to do this video. So the first book I decided to pick up was Next of Kin, and I ended up giving that book 4.5 stars. It was so good. I knew going into it, it was probably going to be an emotional read just because it kind of dealt with like a more serious topic, and that is foster families. So it starts out with our heroine, and she finds out that her birth mother has had another child, and she wants her to take this child. And it's kind of like her conflicting feelings about, you know, am I ready to be a parent? I have a sibling now. I need to do what's best for my sibling. So she wants to go ahead and go forward with the fostering or adopting of her sister, but she kind of gets into a hiccup along the way as she has everything that checks the boxes except the study income. So they offer her a new program in the fostering community, which is called Team Up, where you get paired up with other people that are fostering or adopting, and you kind of like pick up what the other person doesn't have. And in comes our hero, who is trying to adopt his teenage brother, who just so happens to be deaf. And what's so amazing about this is Our heroine actually knows ASL. She grew up around it in her own foster family, and it was just so sweet to see that banter and that easy lifestyle that they were able to have together. I was not expecting our hero to be so grumpy, but I was so here for it because our heroine, like, she really gave it back to him at times, and I was just so here for it. I absolutely loved the relationship, that the co-parenting that they had kind of like intertwined perfectly, and they would pick each other's slack up, and I just thought it was so good. The only reason that I did not give this 5 stars was because my number one pet peeve in books is miscommunication. And that's kind of what happened at the end. And I was like, oh my God, this is like a third act breakup. But it wasn't like really, but it was miscommunication. I do think it was handled better than others, but that was slightly annoying. That was like the only thing that made me not want to give it 5 stars. But other than that, it was so good. I completely understand why Caitlin hyped this book up, said it was one of her favorite reads. Like, I definitely see the emotion, the angst, the found family aspect. I thought this was a very unique romance, very, like, makes your heart just ooey gooey at the very end. It was done so well. I definitely want to check out more by this author. So Caitlin definitely gets a gold star for this romance recommendation. All right, and the next book that I picked up is actually Treble. It was the novella, not Tremble. I'm blind. It's fine. But it was a novella. I saw her actually talk about this on her Instagram stories, and I know she mentioned it in one of her videos, but I actually saw her talk about it the most on her Instagram story, and she was like, it is steamy, it is a polyamorous relationship, and I was like, okay, check in my box, say less, I'm totally down for it. And so novellas are very hard to do like a 5-star read because, you know, they're short. But let me just tell you, I gave this book 5 stars. When I tell you it is so beautifully written for a novella, it just like captured my attention from beginning to end. The way that this author wrote her characters, wrote the romance between all these characters was done impeccably well. I loved it. This book follows a married couple as they are in an open marriage, really, where they're able to have their own significant others outside of their marriage. Well, it just so happens that they both are interested in a same female. And I thought it was so funny how they all got introduced to each other. For some reason, even though I knew that like it was eventually going to be like a poly relationship, whenever like the scene actually happened, for some reason I just was not expecting it at all. And I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm easy to, like, if you do like a plot twist, I'm easy to get because I'm just so engrossed on what's going on the page. I'm not just enough to know what's going on at the end. So, this book was so good. The chemistry between these characters was off the charts. The smutty scenes were top notch. I mean, I was blushing at some of these scenes. I was like, oh my goodness, okay. So good. You could feel the passion in each of these pages, and I completely understand why Caitlin loved this book or novella. She just knows how to find those good like romances. Like, I was so here for it. I was skeptical at first because it is a novella, and I was like, sometimes novellas, when it's just a heavy smut plot, it's not done very well, and this one was done so well. So if you are here for a smutty romance that's a novella but actually has amazing writing in it, this is definitely the one for you. and it's a Black romance, and I'm so glad that I was able to pick this up, and I'm so glad that Caitlin discovered this author, so now I could read some more of this author's backlist because I really enjoy her writing. So that was the second book that I picked up based off of Caitlin's romance recommendations. And the last one that I picked up was Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt. This is also Tori and Sam's book club pick, so I was like, this is perfect because I get to support some amazing people here on BookTube. And this cover is just so adorable. I absolutely loved it. I gave this book 4 stars. It was probably my least favorite if I had to pick out of all of these books. It was definitely the most unique romance that I read because it was following 2 comedians. I have never read a book about comedians before, and I was like, this is going to be so heavy rom-com, and I was like, I don't know if I'm in a rom-com mood, but it was done very, very well. This follows our heroine as she is kind of secretly been in love with her best friend, aka her manager, who is an ex-comedian, and I was just like so here for it. I was like, okay, this is going to be angsty, and it really was, but it had that balance of it being super funny, having that emotional depth, and having that friends to lovers aspect to it, that it was just like a constant wave of like, you don't know what's kind of coming on the next page. And it was done so well. I felt like the heroine was so relatable. Like some of the, like her inner monologue, I was like, okay, this is kind of like what I think to myself also. Super relatable. I thought that it was so sweet how our heroine really loved our hero's daughter, who also is deaf. I can't believe I read 2 books with this representation and how beautifully done these stories was. Like the characters from Next of Kin and Funny Feelings, they did it so beautifully, and you just could connect really to these characters so well. I absolutely loved it. The only reason I didn't give it 5 stars was I kind of like, I rate books off of how I enjoy the books, not really like how it is written. Like that does play an aspect, but really it's like how a book makes me feel and how I enjoy the book. It was a solid read. I just got bored at some points of it, and I don't know if it's maybe because I didn't read it all the way through. I kind of spanned it out from a couple days, but it just was a little slow in some parts, and I thought that some other things could have been plugged in. But other than that, it was really good. Again, Caitlin nailed it with this recommendation. I absolutely see why she loved it, because it is just so unique. It's so different, and it brings a new like element to romance. Totally agree with this romance. She got 3 gold stars for me from this like little taste test that I did. Okay, that is the 3 books that I read. Caitlin just knows how to recommend those romances. She is a trustworthy gal to recommend those romances that I'm just obsessed with. If you have not checked out Caitlin's channel yet, please do. I absolutely adore her videos. She is just amazing. I plan on doing more videos. I think I'm gonna span it over the next 12 months. So next month I'm gonna pick another booktuber and kind of like read their romance recommendations that they give out, and just kind of have fun with it, because it gets me out of my comfort zone of reading what I always just like gravitate towards, and find some really unique romances. So this was so fun to do. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for letting me use your YouTube channel and your recommendations for this video. It was so fun. And if you guys have read any of these books, please let me know. If you have a YouTuber in mind that you would like me to check out, I would absolutely love that. And I will see you guys again on Monday for my next video. Bye, y'all.